Hello and welcome to this wonderful video about personal growth and true success. Today we are going to explore an amazing book that has changed the world for many decades. This legendary book is called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and it was written by Stephen Covey. Stephen Covey was a very wise teacher, an expert writer, and a great business consultant. He spent many long years studying successful leaders, happy families, and highly productive individuals. He discovered that true success does not come from quick tricks, fake smiles, or shallow techniques. True success comes from your deep character, your core values, and your daily lifestyle habits. Many people try to change their lives by changing their external behavior or their public image. They want to find a fast solution to their heavy financial, professional, or personal problems. But Stephen Covey explains that real change must always start from the inside out. Inside out means that you must first change your mind, your thoughts, and your core character. Once you transform your inner world, your outer world will automatically improve along with it. Let us understand a very important concept in this book, which is called a paradigm shift. A paradigm is simply the unique lens or the mental map through which you view the world. Imagine that you are walking in a large new city and you want to find a famous museum. You have a street map in your hands, but the map has a major printing error on its cover. The map says it is a map of Chicago, but it is actually a map of New York City. No matter how hard you try or how fast you walk, you will never find that specific museum if you have a wrong mental map. Your behavior and your positive attitude will not help you. You need to change your map so you can see the correct paths and make the right choices. This book will give you a brand new mental map containing 7 powerful daily habits. The first 3 habits focus on your personal life and help you move from dependence to independence. Dependence means that you rely on other people to take care of you and make decisions. Independence means that you are free, self-reliant, and responsible for your own destiny. Let us examine the very first habit in this guide, which is called Be Proactive. Being proactive means that you are the true creator and the absolute boss of your own life. You do not let external conditions, weather, or other people control your emotions and choices. The opposite of a proactive person is a reactive person who reacts to everything around them. When the weather is beautiful, a reactive person feels happy and works hard at their job. When the weather is rainy or cold, a reactive person feels sad, lazy, and complains all day. Their emotional life depends entirely on the physical environment around them every morning. A proactive person carries their own internal weather inside their mind wherever they go. If it rains, they still choose to be happy, polite, and completely focused on their tasks. Let us look at a clear daily example to see the difference between these 2 mindsets. Imagine a young man named Tom, who works as an office clerk at a local trading firm. Tom is a very reactive worker because he always blames others for his mistakes and failures. If the morning traffic is heavy, Tom arrives late at his office and shouts at his co-workers. He says that the city traffic ruined his morning and made him feel very angry inside. If his company manager is in a bad mood, Tom immediately stops working hard and complains. He says that he cannot do a good job because his boss is unfair and unkind to him. Tom believes that his happiness depends on the traffic, his manager, and his external environment. Because he blames everyone else, Tom has no power to change his own professional future. Now let us look at a proactive woman named Mary, who works at the exact same firm. Mary also experiences heavy morning traffic while driving her small car to the office. But instead of getting angry, Mary uses the time to listen to a useful English audio lesson. She arrives at the office with a warm smile on her face and greets everyone kindly. If her manager is in a bad mood, Mary does not take the anger personally or feel sad. She asks herself what she can do to complete her reports perfectly and help her team. Mary understands that she cannot control the traffic or the emotions of her boss, but she knows with absolute certainty that she can control her own response to those things. Stephen Covey explains this concept by using two circles called the circle of concern and the circle of influence. Your circle of concern includes all the things that you worry about but cannot change easily. These things include the global economy, the daily weather, and the behavior of strangers. Your circle of influence includes the things that you can actually control through your actions. These things include your diet, your learning habits, your work ethic, and your response to problems. Reactive people spend all their time and energy focusing on their circle of concern. They complain about things they cannot change, and they feel helpless, weak, and sad. Because they focus on the negative things, their circle of influence becomes smaller every year. Proactive people spend their time and energy focusing entirely on their circle of influence. They focus on what they can do to improve the situation today without complaining. Because they take positive action, their circle of influence grows larger and stronger over time. Now let us move to the second habit in this guide, which is begin with the end in mind. This habit means that you must have a clear vision of your destination before you start your journey. Imagine that you want to build a beautiful new house for your loving family. You do not just grab some bricks and start stacking them randomly on the empty grass field. First, you sit down with a pencil and draw a detailed blueprint of the house on paper. You determine the exact number of rooms, the location of the windows, and the size of the kitchen. You create the house in your mind first, before you create it in the physical world. Stephen Covey asks us to imagine a very powerful mental exercise to understand this habit. Imagine that you are walking into a quiet funeral home to attend a service for a loved one. You walk up to the front of the room and look inside the wooden casket with deep respect. Suddenly you realize that the person inside the casket is actually you many years from today. All your family members, your close friends, and your co-workers are sitting in the room. They are going to stand up one by one to speak about your life, your character, and your achievements. What do you want them to say about the type of father, mother, friend, or worker you were? What kind of deep impact do you want to leave behind in their hearts and minds? If you want them to say you were a kind person, you must practice kindness today. If you want them to say you were a loyal friend, you must be loyal right now in the present. Beginning with the end in mind allows you to align your daily actions with your deepest values. It prevents you from wasting your limited life chasing things that do not truly matter to you. Let us look at a young student named Sarah who wants to graduate from a famous university. Sarah applies this second habit by writing down her clear goals on a clean piece of paper. She writes that her ultimate end goal is to become a professional doctor who helps poor children. Every time she feels tired or wants to quit studying, she looks at her written vision. She remembers her end destination, and it gives her immediate energy to continue her hard work. She does not get distracted by wild parties or lazy habits because her mind is clear. She is building her life according to a beautiful blueprint that she created herself. Now let us discover the third habit in this book, which is called Put First Things First. This habit is the physical creation of your vision, and it is all about daily time management. Habit 1 says, you are the creator, and habit 2 is the mental blueprint of your life. Habit 3 is the actual practice of living that blueprint every single hour of the day. Stephen Covey created a simple time management matrix with 4 distinct quadrants to help us. The matrix divides all our daily activities based on 2 factors, which are urgency and importance. Urgent things are activities that demand your immediate attention right now, like a ringing phone. Important things are activities that contribute directly to your long-term goals and values. Quadrant 1 contains activities that are both urgent and important for your survival. These include immediate emergencies, dangerous crises, and projects with strict deadlines tomorrow. You must take care of Quadrant 1, things immediately, or you will experience major trouble. Quadrant 3 contains activities that are urgent but not important for your success. These include most phone notifications, casual emails, and interruptions from other people. Many individuals spend their entire day in Quadrant 3 because they confuse urgent with important. They feel very busy, but they are actually wasting time on things that do not matter. Quadrant 4 contains activities that are neither urgent nor important for your life. These include mindlessly scrolling through social media, watching television for hours, or playing video games. Quadrant 4 is a complete time waster that leads to a lazy and unsuccessful life. Quadrant 2 contains activities that are important but not urgent for your future. These include exercising your body, reading educational books, planning your goals, and building relationships. Because Quadrant 2 things are not urgent, We often postpone them until tomorrow morning. We say, I will go to the gym next week, or I will read that useful book later when I am free. But highly effective people spend most of their time working in quadrant 2. They focus on prevention, learning and planning ahead before emergencies happen. Let us use a famous story about a glass jar, large rocks, small pebbles, and fine sand to see this. Imagine a teacher who places an empty glass jar on a wooden table in front of his students. He takes a few large rocks and places them inside the jar until no more can fit. He asks the students if the jar is full, and they all say yes, it is completely full. Then the teacher takes a small bag of pebbles and pours them into the glass jar. The pebbles roll into the empty spaces between the large rocks inside the jar. He asks again if the jar is full, and the students say, yes, it is full now. Finally, the teacher takes a bag of fine sand and pours it into the jar. The sand fills all the remaining tiny spaces between the rocks and the pebbles. The teacher explains that the glass jar represents your limited daily time in life. The large rocks represent your most important quadrant, 2 things like family, health, and big goals. The pebbles represent your job duties and daily responsibilities like chores and bills. The sand represents the small, shallow distractions like social media and entertainment. If you pour the sand into the jar first, you will have no space left for the large rocks. You must place your large rocks into your schedule first before you do anything else. Let us look at a young businessman named Mike who applied this rock strategy. Mike used to start his day by checking his emails and replying to social messages. By afternoon, he felt tired and had no energy left to work on his main business plan. He decided to change his system by putting his first things first every morning. He blocked the first 2 hours of his day to write his business plan without internet. He treated this time as a large rock that could not be moved for any reason. Within 2 months, Mike finished his business plan and received a big investment. He became highly successful because he managed his priorities instead of managing his clock. Now let us move from the personal victory to the public victory with the next 3 habits. These habits help you move from independence to interdependence with other people. Interdependence means that you cooperate with others to achieve massive results together. The 4th habit in this book is a beautiful mindset called Think Win-Win. Most people grow up in a highly competitive environment where life is a game of sports. They think that if you win, the other person must lose the game completely. This competitive mindset is called win-lose, and it destroys human relationships. Other people have a lose-win mindset, where they let others step on them just to keep peace. They say, I am weak, so you can take everything you want as long as you do not fight me. This mindset creates deep, hidden anger and resentment inside their hearts over time. Some people have a lose-lose mindset, where they want to hurt others even if they hurt themselves. They say, if I cannot have this success, then nobody else will have it either. Think win-win is a frame of mind that constantly seeks mutual benefit in all interactions. It means that all agreements and solutions are mutually beneficial and satisfying to both sides. With a win-win mindset, you believe that there is plenty of success for everyone on earth. You do not need to steal from someone else to make your own life rich and successful. If you cannot find a solution that benefits both sides, you should choose win-win or no deal. No deal means that you agree to disagree agreeably and walk away as friends. Let us look at a practical example involving a store owner named Emma and her supplier named Jack. Emma wanted to buy 50 wooden chairs from Jack for her new coffee shop. Emma wanted a very low price because she needed to save money for her business setup. Jack wanted a high price because he needed to pay his workers and make a fair profit. If they chose a win-lose approach, Emma would force Jack to lower his price using threats. Jack would feel angry and give her low-quality chairs that break after a few weeks. Instead, they sat down together to find a true win-win solution for their business. Emma agreed to pay Jack his fair price so he could make a nice profit for his family. In return, Jack agreed to deliver the chairs directly to her coffee shop for free. He also offered to give her free maintenance for 1 full year if any chair broke. Both Emma and Jack left the meeting feeling extremely happy, respected, and successful. They built a strong, long-term business relationship that lasted for many decades. Now let us explore the 5th habit, which is seek first to understand, then to be understood. This habit is the absolute key to effective communication and deep human connection. Most people listen to others not with the desire to understand their true feelings. They listen with the constant desire to prepare their own clever reply or argument. While the other person is speaking, they are thinking about what they will say next. They filter everything through their own personal experience and give unasked advice. Stephen Covey calls this bad habit autobiographical listening in communication. Imagine that you go to an eye doctor because you cannot see things clearly far away. The doctor takes off his own glasses, gives them to you, and says, "Wear these." He says, "I have worn these glasses for 10 years and they work perfectly for me." You put on his glasses, but everything looks even blurrier and darker than before. You tell the doctor that you cannot see anything through his thick lenses. The doctor gets angry and says you are ungrateful because these glasses are excellent. You would think that this eye doctor is completely crazy and dangerous for your health. Yet most of us act exactly like this eye doctor when we talk to our close friends. We give them our own glasses of advice before we diagnose their unique problem. To practice habit 5, you must listen with empathic listening using your ears, eyes, and heart. Empathic listening means that you listen with the intent to truly understand the other side. You look at their body language, feel their emotions, and repeat their meaning back to them. Let us see how this works with a father named David and his teenage son named Kevin. Kevin came home from school looking very sad and threw his backpack on the floor. He looked at his father and said, "Dad, I hate school and I never want to go back there again." If David used autobiographical listening, he would say, "Why do you say that school is very important?" He would say, "When I was your age, I studied hard and became a successful manager." This advice would make Kevin feel angry because his father was not listening to his pain. Instead, David decided to use empathic listening to help his son. He looked at Kevin and said, "It sounds like you had a very difficult day at school today." Kevin sat down on the sofa and sighed. "Yes, my best friend laughed at my presentation in front of class." David nodded and said, "It must feel very hurtful when a close friend makes fun of you." Kevin looked at his father, felt deeply understood, and started to cry quietly. He explained his fears, and they easily found a good way to solve the problem together. David helped his son simply by seeking first to understand his heart before giving advice. Now let us discover the sixth habit in this guide, which is called synergize. Synergy is the natural result of teamwork, open communication, and high trust. Synergy means that the whole is much greater than the sum of its individual parts. In a mathematical formula, synergy looks like 1 plus 1 equals 3 or more. It means that two people working together can achieve much more than two people working alone. The essence of synergy is to value and celebrate the differences between human beings. If two people have the exact same opinion, one of them is completely unnecessary in the room. Differences are not weaknesses. They are great opportunities to find creative solutions. Imagine two tall trees planted close to each other in a green forest garden. Their roots grow deep into the rich soil and entangle with each other underground. Because their roots are combined, they can withstand the strongest storm winds together. The soil around them becomes much healthier because they improve the ground as a team. Let us look at a corporate example involving two business partners named Clara and Leo. Clara is a brilliant creative artist who can design beautiful logos and modern websites. But Clara is terrible at managing financial numbers, taxes, and customer contracts. Leo is an excellent accountant who loves statistics, spreadsheets, and business laws. But Leo has no creative artistic talent and cannot draw a simple, beautiful picture. If they worked separately, Clara and Leo would own small, struggling freelance businesses. They decided to combine their unique talents and synergize by starting a design agency. Clara focused entirely on creating breathtaking designs for their international clients. Leo focused entirely on managing the business finances, legal contracts, and sales marketing. Within 1 year, their agency became the most successful company in the whole city. Their teamwork allowed them to achieve a massive level of wealth that was impossible alone. They achieved synergy because they respected each other's differences and matched their strengths. Now let us explore the seventh and final habit, which is called sharpen the saw. This habit surrounds all the other habits and makes them possible in your daily life. Sharpen the saw means taking regular time to preserve and renew your greatest asset, which is yourself. Let us listen to a famous story about a hard-working woodcutter in a deep green forest. A traveler saw a woodcutter working frantically to cut down a large old tree. The woodcutter was sweating heavily and looked extremely exhausted from his labor. The traveler walked up to him and noticed that his iron saw was completely dull. The traveler said, "Excuse me, sir, why do you not stop and sharpen your saw for a few minutes? I am sure that a sharp saw will help you cut down this big tree much faster." The woodcutter wiped his forehead and shouted angrily, "I do not have time to sharpen my saw. Can you not see that I am far too busy sawing this tree down right now?" The woodcutter was wasting a massive amount of energy because he refused to maintain his tool. Many people live their daily lives exactly like this tired and foolish woodcutter. They say they are too busy working to exercise their physical bodies or eat healthy food. They say they are too busy to read educational books, meditate, or spend time with family. They run on empty energy until they experience burnout, sickness, or deep depression. Stephen Covey explains that you must renew yourself regularly in four main dimensions of life. The first important dimension is the physical dimension, which keeps your body strong. You must eat healthy, nutritious food, sleep for 8 hours, and exercise your muscles regularly. The second dimension is the mental dimension, which keeps your brain sharp and smart. You must read good books, write journals, learn new languages, and limit television time. The third dimension is the spiritual dimension, which brings peace to your inner soul. You can spend time in beautiful nature, meditate quietly, or practice your personal religion. The fourth dimension is the social and emotional dimension, which builds your relationships. You must spend quality time with friends, help people, and practice your communication habits. Let us look at a busy teacher named Helen, who applied this renewal habit every week. Helen used to work 7 days a week grading papers and preparing school lessons. She felt constantly exhausted, had frequent headaches, and screamed at her young students. She realized her saw was completely dull and decided to change her lifestyle system. She made a firm rule that she would not do any school work on Sundays anymore. Every Sunday morning, Helen went for a long run in the beautiful forest park. She read an inspiring non-fiction book and cooked a delicious healthy meal for herself. She spent the afternoon laughing and talking with her close friends at a cafe. When Monday morning arrived, Helen returned to her school classroom with a sharp saw. She felt full of positive energy, patience, and love for her young students. She became a much better teacher, and her headaches disappeared completely after a month. By taking time to sharpen her saw, Helen actually saved her time and improved her health. Living these 7 habits every day is a continuous journey that never ends in life. It is not a quick list of rules that you memorize for a single school exam. It is a sustainable philosophy of life that builds true greatness from the inside out. Let us quickly review the 7 habits we learned from Stephen Covey today. Habit 1 is be proactive and take full responsibility for your own responses. Habit 2 is begin with the end in mind by creating a clear life vision. Habit 3 is put first things first by focusing your time on your big rocks. Habit 4 is think win-win by seeking mutual benefit in all human agreements. Habit 5 is seek first to understand, then to be understood through deep listening. Habit 6 is synergize by combining your strengths with others to create magic. Habit 7 is sharpen the saw by regularly renewing your body, mind, and soul. Do not feel overwhelmed by trying to change everything about your life in one day. Start small today by choosing one single habit that you want to practice this week. If you choose habit 1, notice your words and stop complaining about the traffic. If you choose habit 3, block 2 hours of your morning for your most important goal. Every small decision you make today is a vote for your future character and success. Be patient with yourself because building strong habits takes time, discipline, and consistency. Trust the natural process, protect your daily systems, and never give up on your dreams. The world is full of beautiful opportunities for those who live with true effectiveness. Take control of your destiny, change your mental map, and unleash your ultimate potential. Your journey to a successful, happy, and meaningful life begins this very morning. Make every single moment count and enjoy the wonderful fruits of these 7 habits.